Let's go just that.
I've decided to actually cut out this entire spare tire well now. So I'm trying to decide where to cut exactly. So you can see here, this is like the frame rail. It's actually like a folded piece of steel, and there's a lip here. And I don't want to necessarily destroy that lip because I think I'm going to lose a lot of the integrity of the frame rail. So I'm going to try to mark where the lip is and trim along that, cut this area out. And then here, this lip gets very, very close to this edge here. So I'm actually going to trim along here first and get the spare tire well basically out. I have to move the exhaust and some other stuff and see where I can go from there. What I'm going to do now is take some measurements on this so I can make a model up the fuel cell cage and dropping it down farther to low to center of gravity. What I've done so far is cut this out, and I just kind of cut straight across here. I can always trim more out if I need to, but I don't want to go back too far here, and then I'm going to work it out and figure out what to do there. So a couple more cuts and I'll have the spare tire well fully out, and then I'll kind of mock up the fuel cell where I have it. And I'm also modeling this up in SolidWorks so I can cut all the pieces to length when I make the cage for the cell, and it should all fit. One method I used is I went underneath the car and actually drilled holes where I wanted the line to start and stop, and then that makes it easier for me to trace a line, and then I can stay where I need to be. I like really drilling holes. It's pretty quick and simple, and then you get nice straight lines. So here we go. We got everything cut out. Basically frame rail to frame rail. I'm going to set the fuel cell in. I'll probably also take some measurements so I can put this footprinting to SolidWorks and draw where I need to make my patch panels. And here's the design for the fuel cell cage. You can see that I've got the frame rails mocked up. This is all inch or this was originally 1.25" tubing, but I'm reducing it to 1x1 by 0.77 wall tubing. That's what NASCAR uses for their fuel cell cages. So I think that will be more than sufficient for what I'm doing here. See, I'm going to change the tube size. I've got each kind of individual weldment set up with the weldment tool on SolidWorks, and as I make the changes, it's reflected in the full assembly. And once I get that tubing reduced, we will be able to see the full assembly, and it looks a little better because the tubing's smaller, and that will be the cut guide that I'll use to make the parts themselves. Here's the full assembly. See, I've got the fuel cell nested in there. Routing the lines. The stock hard lines are, you really can't see. They're too small because it's 5/16. So I'm going to upgrade to a -6 or 3/8. And then up here, I'm going to get rid of these rubber hoses, use like a an AN hose. And I'm going to use these adapters here, which are pretty cool. They adapt the stock push to connect fittings to an AN. This is AN6, and I'll use that for both the feed and the return. So looks like we will definitely have enough. Keep in mind that this will go down farther. I'm going to put a new hose end on this. And then it's, probably can't see, but it's routed underneath the car, kind of the stock location. It comes out there. So pretty happy with this setup, which means I just have to duplicate the line for the return. What I'm doing here is I've got a list from my model of all the parts that are all the tube I need to cut. This is 1 by 1 by 0.077 wall square tube. This is what NASCAR uses for their fuel cell cages, so I'm using it for mine. I got a big like 24-foot stick delivered, and then I'm cutting this stuff up. I've got this is the one like long crossbar here, kind of just check to make sure the length was right. I cut it long, so I will have to trim it a little, but that's not a problem. And that's a good rule to do, is kind of make everything long. You can always use your grinder and your flap wheel to make stuff to length. So here we go. And I'm using the Bauer bandsaw. It's a super cheap way to make accurate cuts. Here I have the fuel cell kind of mocked up where it's going to be. It'll actually be 2 inches back farther once I cut more to clear it for the fuel cell cage. Hey, thank you guys for checking out my video. I'm going to be hopefully finishing this up very soon. I wanted to originally show you this when I was all completed with the fuel cell cage and installing it, but unfortunately, because of the holidays and whatnot, I'm going to, I've been extremely busy these past couple of weeks, and I will be busy these next couple of weeks as well. So hopefully I will get it installed then, and I'll show you some more content when that gets finished. Thanks for watching.